Okay, today we're going to talk about types of relationships. There's a constant ratio relationship, but what I want to go over quickly. Now, last year you had things like this. The meters of fencing, if you have no meters of fencing, if you have 20, 40, 70, and so on. So, you had, for every meter of fencing, your price increased. It told you that the gate cost 5,000 Rand. So you have to buy a gate because you can't fence your whole property and have no gate. Then the cost was 450 Rand per meter of fencing. So now you're going to multiply by 0. So that would give you 5,000 Rand. Then all I would do is I would replace that 0 by 20, and then I'd get 14,000. So then I would replace it by 40 to get this value. I would then replace it by 70 to get the next value. I would replace it by 150. So each time I'm replacing this by the meters of fencing. And this is what it looks like. There we go. So if I buy no meters of fencing, it means I've just bought the gate. It's going to cost 5,000 Rand. If I buy 40 meters of fencing plus the gate, 23,000, 36,500, 72,500, and 95,000 Rand. Okay. Now that was a case of there was a constant difference. So if I said 14,000 minus 5, I would get a constant difference. So every time I subtracted, I would get the same value. And do you remember, can you remember what the graph looked like? Okay, your graph started at 5,000 Rand because you got the gate. And then it would be a straight line graph because there was a constant difference, or the price increased at a constant rate. Now what we're going to do now, we are going to look at constant ratio relationships. Okay, this was a constant difference. Now we're going to look at constant ratio. So for example, okay, food inflation at highest in 2 years. Food prices continue to increase at a rate of 7.4% per annum. So what does that mean? So my food price is going to increase by 7.4% this year. Next year, it's going to be 7.4% more expensive than the previous year. So let's have a look what this example looks like. A family spends an average of 3,000 Rand on food per month in 2011. Okay, I don't have the table there, but we are going to, it increases at 7.4%. Do you remember how to do percentage increase? Okay, we're going to take 3,000 Rand plus 7.4% of 3,000 Rand. Okay, which means 3,000 Rand plus, what is 7.4%? Can you remember? 7.4 over 100 times 3,000 Rand. Okay, it's a good idea to go and okay, so let's go and do that on the calculator. We've got 7.4 over 100 multiplied by 3,000. Oopsie. Delete. Multiplied by 3,000 equals, and that was 222 Rand. So now I've got 222, and I've got to add 3,000 Rand to it, and that would be 3,222 Rand. Okay, let's go and get another page. Okay, so at the end of 2011, that was the price you had. Right, so at the end of 2011, I had 3,222 Rand. So then the following year, remember what it said? It said it's going to increase, so you're going to have 3,222 Rand plus 7.4% of new amount 3,222. Calculator out. Plus 3, 1, 2, 3 equals. So we've got 322 Rand. That's in your temporary memory. You don't have to clear. So we are going to find 7.4% of that, which means multiply by 7.4 over 100 equals 238,428. Okay, 238,428. I'm going to add it to 3,222. Let's go back to our calculator. So it's in temporary memory. I don't have to do anything. Plus 3,222 equals 3460. So that's going to be 3,460,428. Right, now I want you to have a look here. We started off with 3,000 Rand. That was in 2011. 2012, we had 3,222. Actually, this was 2011. In 2012, we had that. 2012, 2013, we had that, and 2014, we had 3,460. Right, you round off at the end only. So if I look at this, I'm rounding off to 2 decimal places. It is more than 5, so it's going to be 43. Right, now what I need you to do, you have to test whether there is a constant difference or a constant ratio. Okay, so if I took this minus that, I had 222 Rand. If I took that minus that, I had 238 Rand 43. So can you see, if I'm checking for a constant difference, this doesn't work. Okay, so then you have to go and check for a constant ratio, which means you've got to do this. So instead of taking that number, subtracting that number, you are going to say that number divided by that number. So let's have a look. Calculator out. We're going to have, okay, 3,460.43 divided by 3,222 equals, okay, that will be 1,07. 1,07. Now I'm going to take 3,222 and I'm going to divide it by that value. So let's go get the calculator again. And now we're going to go 3,222 divided by 3,000 equals 1,07. 1,07. So do you see, if I've done it like that, if I've divided, these values are the same. So either you have a constant difference or you have a constant ratio. Okay? Who can remember what that graph looks like? Okay, that graph is going to look like this. That is what that graph's going to look like. That is also called an exponential graph. Okay? Constant difference gave you a straight line, or gave you a straight line. Okay, that was a constant difference. So with a constant difference, you added the same amount to get the next value. You're adding 450 Rand to get the next value for the next meter of fencing. Okay, with your exponential graph, we were multiplying by 1,07. Okay, are there any questions about that? Right, if you look at, this is just what I've been saying to you, check for a constant difference. So we are going to take that value minus that. That value, oopsie, okay, that you subtract the previous, and each of these gave you a different value. So there wasn't a constant difference. But if I take this and I say that divided by that, it was 1,07. If I said that divided by that, it was 1,07. That divided by that was 1,07. There is a constant ratio, and it's because we multiplied by a percentage. Okay, we multiplied by a percentage. We increased it by 7,4%, which is 0,074. Okay, but remember there was 1 because it was 3,000 Rand plus the percentage. Okay. Do the amounts increase at a constant rate? No. Okay, remember a constant rate gave you a straight line graph. What does the graph look like? Well, we've discussed that already. Okay, you've got to please do exercise 1 for tomorrow. Thank you.